Will the parliament be able to effectively address the situation in Manipur and get work done at the same time? That remains the next big question. It's one we're going to focus on over the next few weeks as we look at the parliament's way of functioning. Let's move very quickly, though, to our next story of the day. Drama playing out in Rajasthan, where the Congress's bid for power in the upcoming state elections that are, remember, less than 4 months away, got more complicated today, with the minister that the government sacked just 3 days ago coming forward and suggesting the existence of a diary that he says contains incriminating details about the Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot. Now, the Congress, as expected, has rubbished Gudha's allegations. They've called them baseless. They've pointed to the fact that Gudha himself, this is of course the former minister in question, they've said he has a very checkered history of jumping from party to party. But for a government that's had a tricky few years grappling with scams and, of course, the internal power struggle we've watched play out in Rajasthan, could this new chapter be the straw that breaks the camel's back? That's the big question we're taking a look at over the next few minutes. Our focus on Rajasthan. Let's first take a look at Rajendra Gudha, the man right at the center of all of these developments. These are developments that started on Friday when he was sacked and that have continued till today. But let's take a look quickly at a timeline. 2008, he won from the Udaipur Wadi seat on a BSP ticket. Very important to note. After winning the polls, he defected to the Congress with 5 BSP MLAs. Now, he was appointed as the MOS of tourism by the Chief Minister. This was in 2009. And in 2013, he again contested from the Udaipur Wadi seat, but along with the Congress, he lost that seat, even though he fought on a Congress ticket. Now, a few years later, he won from the Udaipur Wadi region again, but this time on a BSP ticket. This was in 2018. Now, right after that, once again, Gudha joined the ruling Congress with 5 BSP MLAs. Once again, he was appointed as a minister in the Gehlot government in 2021. As you can see, there's been that constant back and forth over the last few years. And within the Congress itself, which camp he is loyal to, that too has remained a question. He, in 2020, backed Ashok Gehlot, but in 2022, he switched to the Sachin Pilot camp. Remember, there is that internal power struggle that the Rajasthan Congress has watched, one that seemingly came to an end earlier this month in July when you had Sachin Pilot come out and make a statement saying that the hatchet was buried between Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot. Now, Gudha, as we just saw, has switched sides multiple times. But what do the allegations that he's made today, 2 days after being sacked, when he's come out in front of the press, when he's come out in front of the parliament, the assembly in Rajasthan, and said that there is the existence of this red diary that contains incriminating details that could mean harm for the Rajasthan government? What could all of that mean for the sitting chief minister? Let's take a quick look. As you know, assembly polls are just a few months ahead. And for the Congress and the BJP, this is obviously a particularly important match. For the BJP, it's important because they have to see whether or not they can reinstate Raje, whether or not they can sort the internal factions within their own party. For the Congress, the question of what to do with Sachin Pilot is a long-standing one. Now, this Gudha chapter, as we've seen, that has played out right now, this adds another headache to Ashok Gehlot. As you know, Ashok Gehlot is already facing that challenge, as we just said, from Sachin Pilot's camp. Sachin Pilot has long wanted to and has made no shame in making clear his claims that he wants to be the next chief minister of the state of Rajasthan. There's been a non-stop rebellion from him. But the other things that Gehlot is dealing with is A, the accusation over an action of graft charges against the former chief minister, Vasundhara Raje. We just touched on this. Sachin Pilot, in fact, from within the Congress has brought that up. To the question of the law and order situation in Rajasthan, with many fingers being pointed in particular to the safety of women. As we just said, the rise in the crime against women very much continues. Rajasthan has some of the highest numbers among states across the country. There is, of course, the recent paper leak cases that have also haunted the Gehlot government. So, the question that we want to take a look at today, with the red diary storm, as we're calling it, with this most recent chapter playing out, Ashok Gehlot is seemingly in a fix. How does he handle this ahead of the assembly polls? That's our big question. Let's take a look over the next few minutes.
मेरे पास वो डायरी थी, वो डायरी मेरी छीन ली गई। मेरे साथ इन्होंने सारे के सारे 25-50 लोगों ने एक साथ मेरे ऊपर हमला कर दिया और आधा पार्ट मेरे पास अभी और है। इस पार्ट के अंदर आपके सारे काले कारनामे जो लोगों ने अपने विधायकों को खरीदा, किस किस एमएलए को राज्यसभा में आपने निर्दलीयों को क्या क्या दिया, किस किस को प्रलोभन दिया, क्रिकेट के चुनाव में आपने क्या क्या काले कारनामे किए पैसे दे के, वो सारी चीजें अभी खुलासा मैं आगे भी करूंगा। इनकी मां ने दूध पिलाया है तो ये मुझे गिरफ्तार करे। राजस्थान की जनता मेरे साथ लात घुसे मारे, मुझे जमीन पर गिरा दिया गया। कम से कम 25 से 30 लोग मेरे ऊपर पड़ गए एक साथ, मुझे नजर ही नहीं आ रहा था, मेरा दम घुट गया था इन लोगों ने। देखिए, जेल जाने के लिए मेरे झूठे मुकदमे लगाए गए। मैंने तो एक महिला की 2 बेटियों की शादी थी, मेरी जेब से 3,84,000 रुपए मैंने देके उसकी बच्ची की शादी कराई और ये मुझे मेरे मुकदमा लगाया मेरे अपहरण का। मैं इनका मंत्री था तो मुझे गिरफ्तार कर लेते, अभी भी मुझे गिरफ्तार करते हैं तो मैं इनका वेलकम करता हूं। इनकी मां ने दूध पिलाया है तो ये मुझे गिरफ्तार करे। राजस्थान की जनता
Okay, this evening, to take a deeper dive into this topic, we have 3 experts with us. We have BJP spokesperson Dr. Purva Singh, we have Swarnim Chaturvedi, the Congress spokesperson, and in terms of expertise, we have senior journalist R. Rajagopalan, who remains with us on the show. Let's go over first to Swarnim Chaturvedi to understand the Congress's perspective on everything that is playing out. Mr. Chaturvedi, thank you for joining us this evening here on CNN News 18. Sir, I want to take to you first the question that seems to be on top of everyone's minds. With this leader, Gudha, coming out and making the accusations he's made today, with the multiple assertions he's made over the last few months about the Gehlot government, because these are in no way new. Yes, the red diary, it seems, is coming out in the public sphere for the first time, but other accusations he's made about the Rajasthan government before too. Why has the Rajasthan Congress not removed him from the Congress till now, sir?
Look, Rajasthan Congress has acted on his act of indiscipline. What he has done in the assembly, it seems that he is in connivance with the Bharatiya Janata Party leaders, and just to divert the attention from the Manipur issue that we are raising across the country, he is doing all these things. That's why we have just suspended him from the assembly, and he has been removed from the ministerial post. Look, in Rajasthan, red diary is not concern of people. People are concerned with the pink diary that is being provided to them from the government as a guarantee to the government schemes. So, for the people of Rajasthan, what the government is doing is fine. They are fine with it. And all the accusations that have been made by the ex-minister and the BJP leaders, they are baseless, just baseless, because can you imagine can any person snatch away some documents from the ED or CBI and take away them from their custody, and no action has been taken against them so far? Is it possible? It is not practical. So all the allegations, they are baseless. They are just been made because he has been removed from the post of Minister of Birth. And as far as I know, he is why he is doing this, because he has some allegiance to the BJP leaders, and they have promised him.
Mr. Chaturvedi, 1 second. I want to come to you with a follow-up question. That's why I stopped you. Sir, we'll take a double click on the allegations themselves in just a second. We'll take a deeper look at what the red diary purportedly puts forward. We'll take a look at that. But sir, I want to understand, if the claims he's made are so preposterous, what stops the Congress from removing him? Doesn't that seem like the sensible move to make right now, if you want to show the state that the Congress doesn't align with his thoughts and his views?
Congress has already constituted inquiry committee against him. We are inquiring and reports.
But sir, these are,
after the
1 second, these are
action.
very serious allegations that are in many ways unprecedented. These are not in any way comparable to statements that you will have leaders make, for which you have committees set up to study them. These are very serious allegations against none other than the Chief Minister. So why aren't we seeing the Congress take action?
No, the Congress will take action. Definitely will take action. One action has already been taken, that he has been removed from the minister bulk. But and now on the organization front, we will take action. It is a procedure. Procedure will take place, and maybe today, maybe tomorrow, the action will be known to everybody. And we are going to take the action. We are going to take action, and all the allegations that he has made are baseless. I am surprised to know what the BJP leaders are saying. Can you imagine can anybody snatch away and take away documents from the custody of CBI and EDI? Can anybody take them away? And CBI and EDI do not take any action against them. Is it possible? It is not possible, but the BJP leaders should tell us how was CBI or ED, the team, the central agency that came to Rajasthan, was it in did they give the documents to Mr. Gudha? And why did if he snatched away the documents, he took them away forcibly, why didn't they took any action? Can they explain? So these charges are baseless. Nobody is talking about them in Rajasthan, but they know the nature of Mr. Gudha. They know how Gudha works, how his politics works. So we are not. It is not very serious issue in Rajasthan, but we are taking the indiscipline very seriously. We'll take action.
Mr. Chaturvedi, if I could just ask you to stay with us. I want to take the questions you've just pointed to R. Rajagopalan, a senior journalist who stays with us. Mr. Rajagopalan, when we asked Mr. Chaturvedi the question of why the Congress hasn't essentially done away with this leader till now, Mr. Chaturvedi had to say, look, we are going through the due course and procedure. But he also pointed what he said were multiple holes in what it is that this Rajasthan ex-minister has said. If you take the Rajasthan ex-minister's version of events, this is an incident that took place a few years ago. The chief minister himself called up this leader and asked this leader to go and retrieve this red book. Now, what Mr. Chaturvedi is pointing out is that in the circumstances that have been described, where the book was actually taken from the home of another Congress leader whose house was being raided, none of that would actually have been possible without officials realizing that something was taking place. So Mr. Chaturvedi is essentially saying there are too many holes in this argument. Mr. R. Rajagopalan, how do you see this?
The Congress spokesperson failed to give you an explanation. He is repeatedly saying that the Doda is in connivance with BJP. But my understanding is the Red Diary is a topic of Rajasthan. Red Diary will also be a blackmailing point towards the Congress, because in Bengaluru, when the Congress had convened I.N.D.A India, they spoke about corruption, but the corruption is haunting on Mr. Ashok Gehlot. Ashok Gehlot is a very senior politician, and he has direct links with Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi. Therefore, when Mr. Red Diary was a subject, Ashok Gehlot should face the consequences. He cannot go behind that, suspension of Mr. Rajendra Gudha. But apart from that, my understanding is Congress spokesperson must explain why Mr. Ashok Gehlot was asking this Rajendra Gudha to go and pick up the diary from other Congress MLA's residence. What does it contain? It contains lots of, irregularities, corruption charges, and Mr. Ashok Gehlot is known for tapping the phone of the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Sachin Pilot, and he told him, you are a traitor. So can you believe, madam, Congress has no face in Rajasthan. It is a sinking ship in Rajasthan. BJP is sweeping in Congress even without the Congress coming into the picture. This Red Diary is going to haunt Mr. Ashok Gehlot and also Mr. Congress leadership in center. What is Mallikarjun Kharge's reply? Mr. Guha,
sir, can I just ask you to stay with us for a second, because there's an important question I want to ask Mr. Chaturvedi here. Mr. Chaturvedi, Rajendra Gudha, who's right at the center of this, is a leader whose alliance to Sachin Pilot is well known. When I say alliance, he's someone who's loyal, someone who's defended Sachin Pilot in the past. He's made multiple statements in just the last few months that have indicated where his loyalties lie. Sir, in this moment, why haven't we heard from Sachin Pilot?
Look, if you look back in 2020, you will find that he was not with Mr. Sachin Pilot. He was the
Right,
one
but
who
sir, but
reconciled
most
to
recently he is.
Ashok Gehlot. Maybe recently he has met Sachin Pilot, made statements in favor of Mr. Sachin Pilot. He is also leader of Congress. He has recently met Mr. Owaisi, who is opponent of Congress. So he is doing all the things that can all the things that are not in a party line, and so that's why we were asking him to take the party line, abide by the party line, but he was not doing so. So that is why he was sacked. But I want to say one thing. How can any person say that Mr. Ashok Gehlot has sent him to take the red diary from the custody of ED or CBI? If somebody can take away any document, any piece of paper from the custody of CBI and ED, will not they take action against that person?
Okay.
So why
Sir, I
the
don't think
CBI,
though,
CBI
sir,
and ED is
let me come back to you in a
sitting down
second.
for
I
the
don't
last
think you've
3
entirely
years?
answered the Sachin Pilot question, so I want to double click on that in just a second. But let's go back to our Rajagopalan. Sir, Mr. Chaturvedi, and it seems the Congress's general line over the next few days is going to be that there are too many holes in this story. Do you think the BJP is going to effectively be able to argue with that?
BJP got a laddu in their hand because Manipur controversy is rising, stalling the parliament. Today, Gajendra Shekhawat held a press conference in Delhi, BJP leader, and also there are Congress leaders who are holding press conferences. My understanding is Congress is unable to answer the problem issue very well to the public because Congress is in neck deep in the corruption charges. Therefore, my understanding is the Congress spokesperson is as confused as the Congress leadership.
Okay.
Either Mallikarjun Kharge or Ashok Gehlot or Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Congress is in a tight spot because this Manipur issue, when it is about Manipur women also, the same Rajendra Gudha minister spoke that Rajasthan, there are many rapes taking place. So therefore, Congress should address that. That is what Prime Minister Narendra Modi also said in Parliament.
Okay, sir, just stay with us. I now want to go over to the BJP. Dr. Purva Sinha is with us right now. Doctor, thank you for joining us here on the show. Doctor, I want to take to you a simple question because we don't have too much time. But I want to ask you, Doctor, when it comes to this entire controversy and how we've watched it play out, one thing Mr. Swarnim Chaturvedi from the Congress is saying again and again is that if you actually listen to what it is that Rajendra Gudha has to say, his version of events has too many holes in it for that to be entirely true. Firstly, doesn't the entire story show that either the ED, the CBI, any officials, the IT that were conducting those raids, they didn't have their wits about them if this leader was able to do this, if he was able to actually take this diary? To that, ma'am, what do you have to say?
See, first of all, I would like to say that law and order is entirely out of order in Rajasthan. Be it Rajendra Gudha ji, be it Divya Madena, whoever there is, they are going to expose this black-faced Gehlot government nowadays. CM is firing his minister just because that he is raising voice for the common people, for the women of the Rajasthan state. Has he done something wrong? And why the Congress people are haunting and scared of this red diary? If they haven't done anything wrong, there's nothing to be, threatened, right? So now, very soon, the blackface of Gehlot government is now going to get exposed in front of the House, in front of the state, and in the front of the nation.
Okay, ma'am, I want to now go to the Congress. Mr. Chaturvedi, I'll come to you for our last question. We know that Rajendra Gudha was sacked on Friday. We know that these statements have come forward. As a minister, he was sacked on Friday. And we know that all of these statements have come forward in the last 2 days. So one question remains. Why did the chief minister not make a statement when he decided to sack his own minister? Why has the chief minister not been more public about these red diary allegations? Why are we not seeing the Congress take a front foot on this, sir?
Congress is on a front foot. Yes, our CM Mr. Ashok Gehlot has already addressed the press conference on the same day Rajendra Gudha was sacked. So nobody can say that we are on back foot. But back foot is on BJP is on back foot because Rajasthan is the only state in India where the cases against the atrocities against women.
Because Rajasthan is the only state of India.
Rajasthan is the only state
governed by the Congress government.
Of
Dr. Mr.
atrocities
Chaturvedi
against women
and
is declining.
Mr. Rajagopalan, thank you for staying with us. We are going to have